Today on Drawbli, Abby is drawing.
This portrait.
Click that subscribe button if you are new around here.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
And share your work online using the hashtag Drawbli. We would love to check it out.
Yes.
Abby, you are drawing a really cool portrait. I have seen the finished result, but you said that this went through a lot of different versions. You said if I saw the sketch or the early stage versus the final, that I would be shocked.
Yes, well, I mean, look at it. There it is, the early sketch. Well,
very
early
sketch. I really like the early sketch that you got going on.
I do too.
I like the silhouette, really cool shapes.
I also really like the
silhouette. But you're redrawing it.
No, I went back. I undid that. I was like, that wasn't working. I really enjoyed the silhouette and the sketch and the shapes. I did find once I went into color, I lost some of the sketch's magic.
Ooh,
I really liked
that always happens.
I know.
You gotta keep the sketch magic.
Well, I really liked what you told me about sketches this week.
What did I tell you?
You said the reason we like sketches so much is because our brain fills in the gaps.
I think so.
And our brain fills in the gaps so well that,
look, your brain does a better job.
Your brain does a better job of saying, oh, well, that's what would be there. So, that's really good.
Like, have you ever seen the illusion of the 4 lines that aren't connecting to make a box, but your brain's just like, yes, that's a box, obviously.
Of course.
I think it's the same kind of idea.
Yeah, it must be, because as I finally, after a very long time of working just on the drawing, started to render this out and tried to add more detail, I was liking it less and less and less.
Oh, no.
A lot of that was my own skill at rendering. It's still fairly
hard.
Beginner. Yeah.
We are fairly beginners still.
Yeah, I was making things kind of muddy, really losing the plot. Not extremely badly, but what I decided to do was something we've talked about a lot is, if it's not working, if your sketch isn't working, if something's not working, move on. It's probably just better to move on and start something new, or start something new. Maybe you've taken that as far as it has the capacity to go. Maybe your underlying work just wasn't ready for what you're trying to do on top of it.
Or a host of a million other things that could be causing issues for you.
Exactly. However, in this case, I was not having a bad time. I was recognizing later on, not even yet, but later on, that there was a lot of lacking.
A lot of lacking. Lacking in what regard? What do you mean?
Oh, just an appeal to the eye from a painterly kind of look. I just didn't find the work very appealing. I thought I had a lot of muddy brush strokes.
This looks awesome though, right now.
Thank you. Well, like I said, black and white, it was holding on strong, and then I went to add color, and that's when things started to kind of fall apart.
So much easier when you're just focusing on value.
Yes, it is so much easier. But like I was saying, I was still enjoying working on it, even though I could see it was all kind of falling apart in front of me. And that was a little sad. So I said, well, you know what? I was thinking this week anyway that I wanted to try drawing a really stylized kind of cartoony eye.
Ooh.
And just see how it goes, because I've never tried that before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so I did that. I didn't use reference for that when I finally do shift over to do that. I just decided I'd guess at it and see how it turned out, because like I said, the piece had already kind of devolved into something I didn't really appreciate too much anyway. So
I mean, it looks really cool.
I know. I should have left it black and white, shouldn't I?
I don't know. I think the forms that you've created right now look really cool.
Thank you.
I think you have a good start here.
Yeah, it starts good. And I actually I ended up liking the finished result because I pushed through, I persevered.
You persevered.
Yeah. It did mean I spent a lot longer on this portrait than I have on my most recent portraits, but I do finish it out and render it quite a lot more than those more recent portraits.
Does the time spent really matter if the end result is something you enjoy? Yeah, it
depends.
Does. Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, it does depend.
4 years later, I have created a single painting.
Yeah. This took me about the ballpark of 5 hours.
Nice.
For, comparison, I recently did a portrait that took about an hour and a half, and it was still fun, and I still liked the results, but it definitely had a lot of rendering problems that I never chose to go back and fix. This one, I tried. I was gonna go back. I decided and fix everything I could see for as long as I could tolerate it until it stopped being fun. And once it stopped being fun, that's when this portrait was done.
Well, speaking of being fun, you need to teach me how you do hair because your hair is always so cool.
Oh, thank you.
You are so good at hair. My hair is just a blob. A messy, messy blob.
Aw.
Your hair is awesome.
You're so much better at me though than at starting with like the base forms and like knowing where you want things and where you want them not just in the beginning but at the end, and you know where you want them like right away. I'm always curious to see where my forms will go throughout the course of the painting. My most basic forms, I'm like, well, let me just change that again.
Ooh. Wait, what is this white square that you have up here?
So it's basically me forgetting that I have the reference tool up, and it's focused on a patch of white canvas.
So
and
you're just painting in this little tiny sliver of screen off to the left of it.
yes,
That's amazing.
yes, and I just completely
You
ignored
even resized it. You even made it smaller, and you're like, I'll just move it over here. I'm gonna use this later for sure.
Probably. Is that what happened?
That is the reference tool, I think. The reference piece.
Okay, because now it is pink.
Yeah.
I'm like, did I seriously just leave it up there as a blank?
That is amazing.
That's so funny.
Ooh, you're getting some cool light on here, though.
That reminds
It's okay,
me.
I can ignore your little reference blob.
That reminds me of how when I was younger, I used to draw my left hand using my right hand. And so I got very accustomed to like striking a pose with my left hand up in the air.
Several days.
Yeah. Well, I came back to it. It hasn't been several days of work.
The reference tool has been removed.
Thank goodness. But I used to draw my left hand, and so I got to a point where I'd be drawing almost anything, and I'd look over, and my left hand would be a claw up in the air in front of me.
Just
my
from...
forgotten reference tool.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, have you already repainted the eye?
No.
Oh,
No.
you haven't?
This is where the eye begins to lose the plot, and I'm like, no, I'm wrestling.
I can see that.
This is a tussle here. This is a rough wrestling tussle with the eye. And because the eye is going to detract from everything else that I've worked so hard on.
It's very true. The eyes are the windows to your painting's appeal.
Yes. And the eye looked so good in my value sketch. I loved that.
Yeah, it was looking awesome.
And as
it's lost a little bit of that.
Yeah, it has. It's lost a lot of it. And I didn't know what to do. So, in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do.
Well, I will say that you're not looking at a reference anymore, so that could definitely be something that's throwing a wrench toward your progress.
You'll be delighted to know I brought the reference back in once I decided to do like a more cartoony eye.
Okay.
Yeah, oddly enough.
So why did you decide cartoony eye? Why is that something you've been
Well,
working to play?
this eye was so lost, but I was just really enjoying working on the piece, and this is when it really hit, like that idea I was talking about before.
Just delete it.
Yeah,
Gone.
I was like,
Gone
you know
forever.
what? This is my artwork. Yeah, the technical best advice is keep working with what you already have. You worked on it, but I don't have to do that. I can just erase it or draw on top of it on a new layer and see how it goes.
New eye time.
If I hate it, it's on a new layer, so I can just delete it anyway.
True.
And just see what happens. Because nobody can tell me no. That's the thing about being your own boss, is nobody can tell you
being
no.
your own boss is so great.
Yeah.
But then what do you do when it fails? I mean, you're your own boss. And it's all your fault.
Oh, it's fine. I'll just give myself a pay cut.
Okay, yeah.
But then there's like a bonus for when you're fired. You know what do they call a severance package?
Yeah, bonus.
Yeah, I get
for when you're fired.
That's what they call that.
A severance package.
I get my severance package, and then I hire the next guy. Me.
Ooh, me. I'm back. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, here's my
It's a revolving
application.
door.
Now, I know that last
say
guy
anything.
was a total failure, but
Yeah.
me, I'm way better than them.
Yes, exactly. I've never run a drawing into the ground before.
Not once in my entire career. 1 week later. Okay, I'll be seeing you.
You're fired. I'm fired? Yes, you're fired. We're fired. I don't...
I like your eye. I like the improvements that you have made. I like the direction. I also like the changes that you have made to around the lips. I think the lips are looking a lot better. I think bringing in the reference image is helping you a lot here.
It definitely is. Reference is so key. Like, as much as we want to be the person who's like, I draw just from imagination, my imagination is so cool, reference is so essential.
My brain's so big and has so many pictures in it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it doesn't quite work like that.
My brain's small and have no pictures in it. What do?
What do with no brain picture? But yeah, I would spend a long time highlighting the profile, and then I added these little last details on the hair.
Ooh, so cool. Gosh, your hair looks so awesome.
And there it is.
Wow, you gotta give me your hair secrets, Abby.
I would love to. It's all about the brush, all about the brush.
Ah, it's so textured, it's so beautiful. I need this brush. Where can I buy it?
It's in the Ahmed Al-Douri course, so we got it for free.
What?
Because we bought his course.
I mean, that's not how the word free works, but hey, if you want to get better at drawing, click that subscribe button.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
Share your work online with the hashtag Drawbli.
And this is the part where we say goodbye.
Goomba. Wow, if I just had one extra brush, I would be so much better at drawing.
You would be. That's how it works.
Imagine if I bought like 100 brushes though. Like, how good would I be?
100 times better.
Whoa.
That's how it works.
That's just math.
That's just math, boy.